Welcome back to the JSFL. We're here after week 1 of season 2. Kickoff week is done. We're gonna get ready for week 2, but let's go over the week 1 recap. Week 1, Thursday night, Atlanta Predators at the Phoenix Gale Monsters. A little lower scoring than we thought, but Phoenix wins this one at Atlanta, so the Predators fall to 0-1. The Phoenix Gale Monsters go to 1-0. And then on Sunday at 1 p.m., the high-scoring fly affair with the Kansas City win at the Cleveland Pirates at the Kansas City Wind. My bad. That one, the Wind squeak away in overtime with a pick six by rookie Ricky Golden. So that one was actually great to watch. The rookie did amazing in that one, and Joe Parker even did a little good for himself, but Willie Rogers, he really looked great out there. 3 touchdowns and 211 yards. Then the other 1 p.m. game, the New York Businessmen went to the Musicians, and that one went a little sour for the Businessmen as they only scored 6 points off 2 field goals. The offense couldn't get moving, but New Orleans, Seth Scott is looking like a maybe MVP candidate if he can get himself out there. Still early in the season, very early. You fought the New York Businessmen defense. It was consisting of a lot of rookies, and the linebackers core mostly, but we'll see how such guys in that New Orleans Musician team goes along this season. Then, the 4:15 game. The Fishers go to the Seattle Natives, and this one got close too, but the Fishers squeak away against the Natives, who had the best record at 9-3 last season. But the Natives lose to start the season, and the Fishers are looking really good out there. Tony Dackerson did pretty good. Hoskins had a great game, and the defense did pretty well too. And then, other 4:15 game was the Houston Enforcers at the Charlotte Bats. The Enforcers pounded the Bats into the ground. Edward Phillips, not a great rookie debut, but Warren Jones in Houston, that's looking great. And that three-headed running back squad, it was great. Norris was a humongous help in that. Evans had some contribution, and Howard Morgan, he only had like a carry, I believe, so he didn't do too much. But those two are going to be very good. And yet again, this is only their second year in the league because both of them are part of the same draft class. So see how they do. And then the final Monday night game was LA Earthquake at the Detroit Power on Monday night. And that one was actually a really good game. Detroit had LA for most of the game. But then they had one more drive to take it away, the game. And Richardson, I believe, fumbled. And that gave LA the lead. And they tried coming back, but they couldn't. And just mistakes by Richardson, mistakes by that whole Detroit team. But Terry Foster to Albert Moore, that was one of the big things this week. Moore is tied for league receiving receptions and second in receiving yards behind, we'll see that later. But Albert Moore and Terry Foster could be a matchup for a while, what people like to see. And then week 2, we'll get to that later. My predictions on that. Well, let's go to power rankings. 12th, New York Businessmen, 0-1. Did not do good against New Orleans, as we said. Gurnett couldn't get going. It's not looking like he might be their featured guy. He had 2 picks, only 107 yards, 9 out of 23. But he did have a rushing touchdown. But that's not going to get you too far. Oh, wait, no. He had a rushing touchdown, so maybe they just missed an extra point. I thought they had 2 field goals. 11th is the Atlanta Predators, so the new team used to be Miami Wave. They lost against Phoenix, but it wasn't too bad of a thing. They just didn't do too much, so they got 11th. 10th, another East team, Charlotte Bats. So the whole East is at the bottom again. Phillips couldn't get going. The East did not look good this week. The 9th, Detroit Power, even though they had the lead for most of it, they looked kind of sloppy out there against LA. So some of these teams did better than them, so they're not going to be higher. 8th, the Seattle Natives at 0-1. They got to put up a good fight against the Fishers, but the Fishers beat them, and that's got to be a punch in the gut. From last season, they started at 6-0. Then at 7th, the best 0-1 team as of right now, Cleveland Pirates. They had a high-flying fight against the Kansas City Wind, coming just up short, as they were inside the red zone, looking to kick the killing score in overtime, and Hastings throws the pick for the touchdown for Ricky Goldens. So they could have been from 7 to 1, just with one better play from Phoenix. So 6, the Phoenix Gale Monsters at 1-0. I mean, I don't think. Well, looking at all the other teams above them, I think this is where they should sit. They played not that well against not that great of a team, and Teps looked okay. Jokes looked pretty good. I'll say that. But Atlanta's defense, we'll see how they do. Because, I don't know. But this is where they're going to sit as now at 6th place. Fifth place, the New Orleans Musicians. Again, not that great of a team they fought. But they did look pretty good out there. A little better than Phoenix. That's why they're a little higher than them. Then 4, Minneapolis Fishers. They beat Seattle at home. And that's impressive. But the teams above them did a little bit better. 3, LA Earthquake. It was like kind of a clash between Fishers and Earthquake to see who would get that 3rd spot. But LA, I think they showed on that those rookies can step up, and they have potential, a lot of potential. 2nd is Houston Enforcers. They beat a bad team kind of, but they looked really, really good doing it. Everything seemed to be chugging for them. Fitch had a great game. And 1st place, Kansas City win again. If they would have lost that game and Ricky Goldens didn't get that pick, and they got the touchdown, would have been at 7th. But that was just a great game. Either one, the Pirates or the win, would have been 1st. They just, hands down, had a great game there. MVP race, number 10, Steph Skies of the New Orleans Musicians. Skies, let's look at him real quick. Some weird names you probably won't see for the longest time in the MVP race. But it's week 1, so a lot of people can be here just by having one good game. So this guy's 23 completions out of 32 attempts. He had 242 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions. So, solid game from Skies. We'll see if he can keep that pace and keep going up on the MVP race. 9th, Sean Flores of the New Orleans Musicians. So, Sean Flores, he had one tackle, one assist, 1 interception, and 1 touchdown. Probably won't see him on here for too much longer because he just had 1 great game. 8, Kurt Hammond, tight end. Kansas City wins. So Kurt Hammond, let's look at his game. 9 receptions, tied for most in the league. 166 yards, most in the league. 1 touchdown. And so that's pretty good for Hammond. Then he got number 7, Alfred Norris of the Houston Enforcers. So Alfred Norris, let's look at him. He had 20 attempts, 81 yards, 9 broken tackles, and a receiving touchdown. So the broken tackles and the receiving touchdown, even though he didn't have a touchdown on the ground, he did solid on the ground. Gained almost to 100 yards. Had a receiving touchdown, and he was a big backbreaker on Charlotte's defense, making them miss a lot of tackles and breaking through a lot of tackles. 6 is Newton Fitch of the Houston Enforcers. 7 tackles, 1 assist, 2 tackles for loss, and 3 sacks and 1 forced fumble. Fitch was a force to be reckoned with as he destroyed Edward Phillips on his debut. That's not one guy you want to face on your debut. Talking about threats on the defensive edge rusher side, let's go to number 5, Roland Lemus. So Lemus, not showing any regression from last season. I mean, he's only young, so he's going to be even better and better as his career continues. Hopefully, LA hopes they leave LA. LA hopes he never leaves. So let's look at him. In his debut, he had 4 solo tackles, 1 tackle for a loss, 4 sacks, and a forced fumble. Lemus had a game. And, yeah, just great game for Lemus. He was against Angel Parks. Angel Parks could not get much help from the guard, so he got beat a couple times. And Richardson couldn't get the ball up fast enough. 4, Ricky Goldens. We already talked about him. He got his team single-handedly to number 1 by that pick 6 in overtime. But let's look at his stats. He had 6 tackles, 2 assists, 1 interception, and 1 touchdown. Just great game for Ricky Goldens, but you probably won't see this guy in the MVP race next week as it's just 1 good game. But we'll see. Number 3 is Frank Jog, Cleveland Pirates. So Frank Jog, let's see him. Frank Jog. 32 attempts, 193 yards, 1 touchdown, and 6 broken tackles. Just solid game on the ground, no receiving numbers. but he was the workhorse of that offense. A lot of yards, a touchdown, and some broken tackles. So solid performance from Jog. 2 is Ronaldo Hoskins of the Minneapolis Fishers. So Hoskins, let's look at him. He was against Seattle's defense. 23 attempts, 152 yards, a touchdown on the ground, and 10 broken tackles. So little tiny bit better than Jog, probably because the broken tackles and the touchdown on the ground most likely helped them. And then number 1, your MVP as if the season were to stop right now. So he's number 1 in that MVP race. It is Mr. Willie Rogers of the Kansas City Winds. 16 attempts, only 16 attempts. Listen to the rest. 211 yards and 3 touchdowns, 5 broken tackles. 3 touchdowns really helps him, man. He also did good on the breaking tackles game. 5 a game would be great. Great yards and only so little of attempts. So great job to Willie Rogers. And he got injured last season. So if he doesn't get injured, he probably could have finished like 6th last year if he didn't get injured. So I'm looking to see what Rogers can do this season. Maybe Taylor Little wasn't looking as good, so maybe Rogers will be the next MVP. Could be plenty possible. So then, got the playoff picture. Not that great yet, but here is relocation status. New York Brisbane 0-1. In the hunt, number 2 is Cleveland Pirates 0-1. Number 1 in the hunt is Phoenix Steel Monsters 1-0. The 6th seed will be the New Orleans Musicians 1-0. 5th seed, Houston Enforcers 1-0. 4th seed, Charlotte Bats 0-1. 3rd seed, Minneapolis Fishers 1-0. 2nd seed, LA Earthquake 1-0. And 1st seed, Kansas City Wind 1-0. And then let's go to the tops. Start off the tops, you have the QB tops. Kendall Hastings with completions for 28 attempts. Kendall Hastings, 47. Yards, Kendall Hastings, 363, my bad. Touchdowns, there's more than 3 at 3. Interceptions, there's more than 3 at 2. Halfback tops, attempts, Frank Jog, 32. Yards, Willie Rogers, 211. Touchdowns, Willie Rogers is at 3. Broken tackles, Ronaldo Hoskins at 10. Wide receiver and tight end tops. Receptions, Kurt Hammond and Albert Moore at 9. Yards, Kurt Hammond at 166. And touchdowns, Fred Williams at 2. Defensive tops. Wesley Francis at 10. For solo tackles. Assist, Josh Carls at 9. Tackles for loss, Jordan Jackson at 4. Sacks, Roland Limas at 4. And turnovers, there's more than 3 at 1. Oh yeah, we have a new thing this year. It's offense and defensive categories. More accurate this time. So let's go. Defense. 12th ranked in the league is the Wind. 11th, the Pirates. 10th, the Power. 9th, the Businessmen. 8th, the Natives. 7th, the Bats. 6th, the Predators. 5th, the Fishers. 4th, the Earthquake. 3rd, the Gila Monsters. 2nd, the Musicians. And 1st, the Enforcers. Rushing defense, 12th, the Pirates, 11th, the Wind, 10th, the Predators, 9th, the Natives, 8th, the Bats, 7th, the Businessmen, 6th, the Power, 5th, the Gila Monsters, 4th, the Earthquake, 3rd, the Fishers, 2nd, the Musicians, and 1st, the Enforcers. And pass defense, 12th, the Wind, 11th, the Pirates, 10th, the Power, 9th, the Businessmen, 8th, the Fishers, 7th, the Natives, 6th, the Bats, 5th, the Earthquake, 4th, the Predators, 3rd, the Enforcers, 2nd, the Musicians, and 1st, the Gila Monsters. And these are probably won't be your end of the year like defensive and offensive team rankings, but after one game, this is where they sit. It goes off how much rushing yards and passing yards the other team had against you. So it's accurate this time, not like my own opinion. So then let's go into offensive stats. Offense is 12th, Bats, 11th, Businessmen, 10th, Predators, 9th, Power, 8th, Natives, 7th, Gila Monsters, 6th, Enforcers, 5th, Fishers, 4th, Musicians, 3rd, Earthquake, 2nd, Wind, and 1st, Pirates. Rushing offenses, 12th, the Bats, 11th, the Businessmen, 10th, the Natives, 9th, the Power, 8th, the Predators, 7th, the Earthquake, 6th, the Musicians, 5th, the Enforcers, 4th, the Fishers, 3rd, the Gila Monsters, 2nd, the Pirates, 1st, the Wind. Then passing offenses, 12th, the Predators. 11th, the Businessmen. 10th, the Bats. 9th, the Gila Monsters. 8th, the Power. 7th, the Enforcers. 6th, the Fishers. 5th, the Natives. 4th, the Musicians. 3rd, the Earthquake. 2nd, the Wind. And 1st, the Power. And those are your offensive and defensive teams, where they rank. And the final thing of this week, to finish off week 1 and then put that in the books, let's go look at week 2 now. My predictions. Week 2, you have, starting off on Thursday night, the New Orleans Musicians at the Houston Enforcers. We had to see Warren Jones and Houston at home. Against Steph's guys who had a solid game, but Houston's defense, they looked great against Charlotte. They shut down Joey Adams. He has the worst, out of any starting back, he has the worst yards at only 64. So if they shut down Castles and Roy, I think the secondary is great enough. Let's see what their passing defense is. Houston's passing defense is in 3rd in the league, behind Musicians and Gila Monsters. So I think they can shut down the veteran such guys enough that Houston will sneak away with this win in a close one, I believe. Then you got the Bats at the Businessmen. So a battle of these to see probably could see who wins these, because if the Predators play, they probably won't win. So the Bats weren't greatest against the run but Adams, I think he has a bounce back game against New York's defense. Their rush defense is ranked 7th in the league, but I believe Garnett's probably gonna have another sloppy game, and I think Charlie can bounce back and get their first win of the season. And then you got the Wind at the Predators. Do I need to even talk about this one? Give me the Wind. I don't think the Predators have that great of a team yet, and the Wind has so many offensive weapons. The Predators are kind of rebuilding. They need some weapons. Warren Rocker probably won't be able to do anything against Kansas City, even though their defense isn't that great. Or maybe it might be a high-flying shootout, but I think the Wind will pretty much win this one, because Atlanta's pass defense isn't the best. Let's look at that. It's ranked 10th in the league. So, yeah. Then you got your 4:15 game. The Gila Monsters at Earthquake. This is a good one. See, the Gila Monsters, they kind of struggled against Atlanta, but not too much because they got the win. But then the Earthquake, they beat Detroit, but they looked pretty good there. So usually before last week, I probably would have favored Gila Monsters, but we'll see how this one goes. I think I'm gonna pick. I think LA can shut down Taps enough that it will be LA's game. It's close, but I think LA's gonna win this one. Then you got the Power at the Fishers. Great, another game. Sean Richardson going to the rookie Tony Dackerson. But, no, upset of the week, I'm going Power on this one. They used to be my favorite team, and I think Little has to bounce back against this Minneapolis defense. Let me look at their rush defense. Minneapolis rush defense is... Wow, I thought you ranked 3rd in the league. I'm just thinking somehow behind physics, Little is just going to have a great game. The offensive line's going to do enough. Richardson, he's just going to do enough. Maybe rush a few times. And Tony Dackerson, he'll stall like he did sometimes in college. And Hoskins might get shut down by this linebacking core that's great in Detroit. So, yeah, give me Detroit on that one. And the Monday Nighter, the Natives at Pirates. Pirates almost won. Got a little short. Cleveland's Pirates, their pass defense is ranked dead last in the league. And Hastings, the rookie, going up against Seattle. I think it's going to be a shootout, but I think Kermit Poe is going to have a bounce back. He's just going to take advantage of that defensive backfield for Cleveland, and it's not going to look pretty. So, feel bad for Cleveland's defense going up against two of the most high-powered offenses on paper, but yeah, it is what it is, man. So, that's the JSFL Week 1 before Week 2 podcast. And I've been your commissioner, Joshua Bechtel, and I'll see you guys on Thursday night primetime when the New Orleans Musicians are heading to Houston to fight the Enforcers. I'll see you guys then.